It's another month, and I want to continue with the trend of just talking about video games that I'm playing in the given month. This month in particular, being February, I usually do, as you probably know if you're subscribed to this channel, I usually review games, usually new games. Every now and then I review older games, but I like to do videos like this sometimes too, where I can just talk not so critically, and I can just kind of, talk briefly about other games that I wouldn't have time to make dedicated videos for. So I'm going to get into it. I'm going to share with you guys the main games that I'm playing and plan on playing in February, but first, I want to know what you're playing. Let me know in the comments what you're playing in February, because January was a dead month. There was barely any new games in January. So most people, according to the comments in my last video, were playing games on their backlog, getting around to games that they always wanted to play but never really had time to. And there's nothing wrong with that. I actually love months like that. But February actually has some big releases. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Avowed, Monster Hunter Wilds. So let me know, are you playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? Are you prepping to play one of the bigger ones that are coming out later this month? Or are you just taking February as like a chill month to play, again, more games in your backlog? Also subscribe if you haven't already. I talk about video games all the time on this channel. I do day one reviews very, very often. I do other reviews. I just do video game discussions all the time. I just love sharing my passion of gaming, and I hope you join me on this channel. So let's get the obvious out of the way first. If you've been watching my last handful of videos, you'll probably notice I always talk about Marvel Rivals, and February is no different. I'm still addicted to Marvel Rivals, especially the competitive mode. I'm currently platinum rank. I don't know if that's good. It's first you start at bronze, and then you go to silver, and then you go to gold. Now I'm at platinum, doing it all solo queue, mostly as a healer. Again, I don't know if that's impressive. I don't feel like that's impressive, but this is my first time playing competitive in any video game, so I'm just excited about it. And I continue to play it throughout the rest of February, and then probably March, and then probably April, and then probably May, and then probably... But next, I want to talk about some of the games that are coming out in February that I plan on playing later on in this month. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I said this in my previous video in this series in January where I talked about those games, but I wanted to beat Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 when it came out so I could review it and discuss it on this channel. Unfortunately, I didn't beat Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 in time, but I'm still chipping away through it. I'm still loving that game, but unfortunately, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is going to have to be postponed for me. I'll play it sometime later on this year. But Avowed is a new game coming out in February that I will be playing on day one. I do plan on getting early access to that through Xbox Game Pass, and I'm so hyped for it. When they first announced Avowed, I was pretty skeptical. I was pretty hesitant because I liked the Outer Worlds, but I didn't love the Outer Worlds. And so I thought Avowed would probably be more or less the same. But when other people got early access to that game and they were able to play good chunks of it, and I watched those videos, I saw how much better Avowed is seemingly going to be compared to the Outer Wilds, and that makes it one of my most anticipated games of the whole year, and I'm just hyped as hell to play it. I'll definitely get a day one review out. If I don't get a day one review out on early access, I'll at least get a very early review out in the early access period, and then after that one comes out, I'll do a follow-up review, a much longer, more in-depth one after I put a whole bunch of hours into that game. I'm just hyped as hell for it. A lot of RPG games have just been letting me down lately in terms of the story, in terms of the exploration, in terms of the world, and just how much I like being in it, in terms of the characters, in terms of the gameplay. There have just been so many underwhelming RPG fantasy games coming out, and Avowed, I hope, breaks that trend. I hope Avowed is a genuinely good game. It seems to be a much smaller scope than a lot of more huge, bloated open world fantasy games, and I hope that that serves in its benefit. But at the same time, I hope it doesn't feel too limited. I hope it doesn't feel too linear. Again, I have no problem with linear games. I just don't want Avowed to feel linear. Another new game that's coming out at the very end of February, I think it's actually coming out the last day of February, so I probably shouldn't talk about it in this video. I should probably talk about it in the games I'm playing in March video, but I'm still going to mention it here, and that's Monster Hunter Wilds. I know Monster Hunter is a hugely successful franchise with a whole bunch of fans, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. Those games do not look like they're designed for me. I've seen Monster Hunter World when that came out. I watched gameplay, I watched reviews. I think I played the demo, and it just didn't click with me. And then when Monster Hunter Rise came out, I just practically ignored it. It just looked like a less technically impressive version of of Monster Hunter World. But then something clicked in my brain, and that's that I typically love games made by Capcom, Resident Evil being my favorite franchise of all time. And I figured this is Capcom's probably, arguably, their second biggest franchise, if I had to guess. If not their biggest. I doubt it's bigger than Resident Evil, if I had to guess. Again, I'd assume Resident Evil sells more. Could be wrong. But anyway, the point that I'm making is I typically love Capcom games, so I want to give Monster Hunter Wilds a genuine chance. I want to go into it optimistic. I'm going to play it on the day that it comes out, and I'm going to give it my all to like it, to get into it, to see what people really, really like about this franchise. And I just really, really hope it clicks with me. Again, I'm not sure that it will, but I'm completely open to it changing my mind, changing my opinion, and proving me wrong. Again, that's going to be another game that I review on day one, so look forward to that. But now I want to talk about some games that are on my backlog that I've been playing in February, or I plan to play in February. The first actually being Doom from 2016. This game was always on my radar, and I always wanted to check it out. But when I saw the Xbox showcase, and I saw gameplay footage for Doom the Dark Ages, it just looked so badass. Combining the Doom Slayer, the world of Doom, with medieval aesthetics and medieval shields and capes and swords and everything like that, it looks like that's the Doom game that needed to come out to interest me to the point where I did pre-order that game, and I'm actively hyped for it, having never played another game in the Doom franchise before. But me being me, before Doom the Dark Ages comes out, and I know it's a prequel, I know I can just start with that game, I don't wanna. So I finally ordered Doom 2016, and I've been playing it, and it's pretty good so far. The soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal. I actually plan on ordering that soundtrack on vinyl. I absolutely love the music, but Doom 2016 so far is really, really good. I can't say that I'm loving it, but I can't say that I'm disappointed with it either. I can 100% see why people really, really love that game and really, really seem to love this franchise. It's a turn your brain off action game, again, where you can just unplug and just relentlessly slay demons, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love turn off your brain action games. It's a lot more simple than I was expecting in terms of the level design and the progression and the way that you upgrade everything and the way that you find stuff and the way the game, again, just progresses as you go on. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I'm just surprised at how simple it is, but I actually think how simple it is in its benefit. I think I'll actually make a dedicated video on this channel talking about Doom 2016 after I beat it. It'll be a video like I played Doom 2016 for the first time in 2025, but I'm really, really liking it. I'm still pretty early on in it. I think I have 5 or 6 hours, so I'm probably at the, I don't know, 40% mark, 50% mark. But I have a feeling by the time the credits roll, I'll be a big fan of it. And then obviously I'm going to play Doom Eternal at some point between when I beat this game and when Doom the Dark Ages comes out. But the other console game on my backlog that I plan to play later this month is actually Saints Row the Third. Saints Row is a huge franchise, I know that, but it's a franchise that I've never played. I've never played a single Saints Row game. I barely know what they're about. I know they're basically just a goofier version of GTA, which is saying a lot. But speaking of Doom 2016, I'm just in the mood lately to play more turn off your brain, dumb action games, and I prefer third-person video games. So I googled dumb action games with a third-person perspective, and the game that was recommended the most was Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 4 and Saints Row Gat Outta Hell. But again, I wanted to start with the earliest one that was suggested, so I went to my local gaming store and I had them order a physical copy of Saints Row the Third Remastered for the PlayStation 4. And as soon as that comes in, I'm going to go buy it, and then I'll probably play it after I beat Doom 2016. I'll go into that game with some curiosity. I don't know if I'm going to love it. I don't know if it's going to hold up. It probably will. A lot of my favorite video games of all time are from the 2010, 2011, PS3, Xbox 360 generation. So I'll probably really like it. But the fact that it's an installment of a franchise that I've never played just makes me not necessarily excited, but again, I'm going in hoping that I become a fan of the franchise. And then if I like that game, I'm going to play the newest Saints Row game, which I've only heard great things about. Everyone around me says that game is an absolute 10 out of 10 masterpiece. But another game I've been spending a lot of time playing in February, believe it or not, is a mobile game. I'm not typically a mobile gamer. I think I play a mobile game maybe 4 days out of the year every single year. But in early 2021, it was winter. I got COVID, and COVID hit me really, really hard. I was really sick for like 2 weeks, like the sickest I've ever been in my life. So I got Xbox Game Pass back when it was $1 for like 3 months or $1 for a month. I don't remember. But I downloaded Xbox Game Pass, and the first game I downloaded while I had COVID was Plants vs. Zombies for the Xbox 360. And that game is just so nostalgic to me because, again, I was sick. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to do anything, but I just spent the whole day playing that game to the point that the soundtrack is stuck in my head. The zombie noises are stuck in my head. The plant sound effects are stuck in my head. And that game just holds a huge sentimental place in my heart. And I figured, what the hell? It's been a few years since that happened. It's winter where I live. It's currently a blizzard outside right now. Why not try Plants vs. Zombies 2? So it's not available on console, so I downloaded it on an iPad, and I've been playing it there. So far, I mean, for a mobile tower defense game, it's pretty fun, though I am pretty disappointed compared to Plants vs. Zombies 1 because that game felt like a complete game. Plants vs. Zombies 2 already is a mobile game. It has so much mobile game aspects about it that I don't remember being present in the original. Like daily incentives to log in and a million different currencies, and you get basically loot boxes that contribute to you unlocking new plants and that sort of thing. That's really annoying. I really was hoping it was just a complete cohesive game like the first Plants vs. Zombies game. But anyway, that's it for me. Those are the games that are taking up the majority of my free time in February. But again, I want to know what games you're playing this month. Let me know in the comments. If it's a new release, let me know, especially because it might be a game that I'm not aware is coming out, and if it sounds interesting to me, I might play it and review it. Or again, if you're playing something on your backlog, let me know what that is too, because again, those are always fun gaming moments where you can just play a game you always wanted to get around to, and you can be reminded why games of yesteryear are often far better than a lot of the garbage we get today. Once again, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and thank you for watching, especially if you watched this far.